to, one, help us address the gun violence crisis in the city of Philadelphia, and two, stop the open air drug market that is allowed to exist right now in Kensington and nowhere else in the city of Philadelphia. And so some folks have said to me, well, Cherelle, that doesn't mean that a mayor or a local government is incompetent or unable to address these challenges. But the crisis that's there, I don't care if we're talking about the gun violence crisis and or the opioid crisis and that open air drug market, that is a regional problem that we have, and we need to try to address it from a regional perspective. So I'm going to be proactive, and I'm thinking about not the people who think that they know what's best for the people who live in Kensington. I'm talking about the homeowners whose most valuable asset is there and they can't afford to leave. I'm talking about how children who are going through that trauma every day and those people. And that's why I'm willing to call the president and the governor and anybody else that I need to in order to say Philadelphia needs help. We need to address this from a regional perspective, and we need federal and state government to help us.
And you've heard other mayoral candidates say we cannot arrest our way out of this. Compounded with, we see law enforcement officers, we see uniforms, and since we're talking about Kensington, let's talk about the Kensington Allegheny mile radius, which is where that hefty concentration of crime is located. So how do you communicate, given that context, a law enforcement forward agenda?
We need a certain level of consistency. The people of Kensington, and I want us to listen to walk a mile in their shoes for a minute. You get just a little hopeful because a raid occurs and everything that you saw in Kensington and Allegheny is removed for a day, 2 days, or maybe 3 days or a week. And all of a sudden you're feeling that it's quite possible that my neighborhood can go back to being alive again and filled with hope and feeling like it felt when I first moved here. And then a week later, the presence is gone. And people say, okay, the heat is off. We can go back to doing business as usual in this area. You can't do it that way. So when you call and make the ask, you have to ask for a long-term commitment. And that's what a Parker administration is going to do. So people know, no, you will not ever come back here and engage in what is business as usual. We will help to rebuild that community, and we will do it with the people who live there and the people who lead there. So that will be what I call my two qualifying factors of whether or not you think you'll have a nickel and a quarter to help us resolve the issues in Kensington. The people whose voices will matter most to me are the people who live there and the people who lead there. Those are the people who are essential for us to have at the table as it relates to solving those issues and asking for long-term support.